Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome back to another Camp NanoWriMo vlog. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I did not film anything yesterday. Water's over here. I don't know what I'm doing. I did not film anything yesterday for 4th of July, mainly because a lot of our plans changed the day of 4th of July. We were planning on going down to this spot about 45 minutes from where we live to go see some really pretty fireworks. But the weather forecast kept on saying that there was going to be thunderstorms on the 4th. And it kept on pushing back the time of when the thunderstorm was actually going to start each time. But no matter what, the thunderstorm was always happening, you know, when it got dark, when the fireworks were supposed to go off. So no fireworks, nothing to really record that was terribly exciting, although I did have a very busy day. I put insulation in my roof by myself, because our roof is so tiny that my husband was too tall to fit. So I was literally rock climbing throughout my roof. I know this house way too well now. I've done so much with insulation. I have done so much with tarping things off just in case of leaks or in case of cave-ins from the ceiling. I know this house so well now. I genuinely am a homeowner now. I was literally just thrown into it right away. We also did so much yard work yesterday, particularly the front lawn. And despite us getting the drywall fixed, despite us getting the insulation in, our AC is still not working. So we still are having some crazy AC problems. And we've had like 3 or 4 heat advisories here. So it's been a little miserable. Currently, I am looking at the thermostat. It is reading 81 degrees in my house. It's 80 degrees outside. It is a single degree cooler outside than it is my house. But I did reach my goal yesterday for writing 1,000 words. I did it while we watched National Treasure, and I don't know what is going on. I am having so much less enthusiasm and less gusto about writing than I have in the past, like maybe not couple months, because obviously the month of May, I just only wrote a day. But throughout the month of June, I felt pretty motivated to, you know, write a bunch. I didn't write every single day in June, but I think that I got to almost half of June I had writing days. I think that's something that I am learning with this experience, is that sometimes if you want to make the goal to write every single day, you're gonna have to write on days where you just really don't feel like writing and you're really not good at it. And it's so hard because you love all those times that you're like in the groove. And then there are days where you're like, I am useless, hopeless. Do I even write? I am not quite sure what project I'm going to do today. I would like to finish up the red lines just so that I can get a head start into a newer project. My oven is magical. What I was saying is I would love to get the red lines done for the first book of Escape the Safe House so that I can just start in on my new project for the second book, but the secondary plot of the second book. But I am still just having the hardest time finding the motivation to actually get that section done because it's a lot of red lines. I am going to be hopeful that that's what I can do. The other goal that I could make for today's writing, or I could even split them up 50-50, is finishing up the chapter that I am on for Sleepless Wonder. That chapter was kind of tricky to edit as well because it was an action sequence. And action sequences are so fun, but they're also kind of difficult to write. So I did a lot of edits on that chapter that day. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling so that I can eat. And I will catch up with you guys later. Hey everybody, here is the update for the weekend since I did not film a whole lot. I actually did not write a whole lot. This is the first time during this challenge that I did not make my daily goal of 1,000 words a day. And I have no idea why, because the past several weeks beforehand, I was hitting 1,000 words pretty easy, but there were a few days where I would hit like 500. And for one of the days, I didn't hit any words, but I did do redlining. So I do count that as writing. I don't count that as a word count, but I do count that towards my streak. So my streak is still going strong, which is great. And then yesterday, last night, I was able to crank out like 160 words or something like that. I feel like it's kind of difficult when you challenge yourself to do such huge, lofty goals that it can almost make your work, I don't know, even worse, if that makes sense. Like you try and push yourself and challenge yourselves, and then you end up just like burning yourselves out. And I feel like that is kind of what's happening with me right now. So I think that you kind of have to make a choice and decision normally of, okay, am I going to write a lot when I write, or am I going to write consistently every day, and not every single day is going to be a huge writing day? So for the future, I am not sure if I will be able to do for long periods of time a huge amount of word count, but I feel like that's so common, right? It's so common to do all of these challenges where you're like, oh, I have to hit this amount of words in such a short amount of time. And the more that I've written, the more that I've realized these goals are kind of meant to catapult yourself into making sure you're not procrastinating, but in the end, they're not necessarily meant to be long lasting. And that's kind of a bummer realization, because you want to be able to be so productive every single day. You want to achieve your goals so quickly. I feel like not the best books are written in super short amounts of time. And I feel like for me, I would personally like to have my books be quality rather than quantity, rather than publishing like some 20-some subpar books that don't sell any more than like 100 copies each. I would much rather sell like one series or one book that does spectacular, because I put in that work and that effort to make it really good. And finding the balance of when to stop doing that is also something else that I am trying to balance. Obviously, I'm still going to continue on the challenge. I still think that it would be a good idea just to kind of get me to write every day. If I don't get to 1,000 words, then that's totally fine. It's just one of my goals that I, at the very least, will do as much as I can. Not completely giving up on myself yet, but I am also being a little bit more realistic. So that's basically what happened the last 2 days. I know I haven't been the best at filming that, and honestly, it's because I was just having a hard time writing in general. But hopefully throughout this next week, I will be a little bit more dedicated to making some more updates. With that being said, this will be the end of this video. Sayonara, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.